Please welcome the man who bombed in Belgrade. Back from entertaining the troops, it's Mr. Ian Lee.
I was busy. I was a bit late. Daisy, thank you for coming. Bless you. Hello. Come on, calm down. We've got a lot of jokes, a lot of gags. I'll tell you something. Those Serbs are a tough audience. We got any Serbs in here tonight? Get out of here. Joining me tonight is Daisy Donovan. Daisy, what are you going to do to entertain the troops?
Well, Ian, I'll be hoping to cheer up our boys by buffing their rifles and polishing their helmets.
I wonder if she knows what she just said. But on a more serious note, our foreign correspondent, Mackenzie Crook, will be reporting live from Belgrade. Mackenzie, can you hear me? I paid for that ticket myself. Anyway, here's a man who was in the trenches in World War I, down the pub in World War II, and he's here to give us all the latest on World War III. It's Tommy Vance and his news slam.
Thursday, April the 1st, and 3 GIs play the worst April Fool in history. They were on a top-secret NATO mission to put cling film on Slobodan's bog. Funny how these pranks often backfire. From soldier's cage to the minimum wage, and 18-year-olds get £3.60 an hour. Why the hell aren't they at college? Then they could get a grant, cheap beer, and screw pretty girls for 3 years. From pay packet gains to Nazis on trains. And this ticket inspector really is a little Hitler. He's been found guilty of war crimes. BR are kicking themselves. If only they checked his CV. They'd have made him head of Network Southeast. Hold the front page. The Irish peace talks have been postponed for 12 days. Tony had to pull out. He'd promised little Ewan an Easter trip to Alton Towers. And nothing, not even Irish peace, can stand between Ewan and the log flume. Wham, bam, that's my slam.
Writes them himself. Writes it all himself. Well, those are the big stories, and thanks to Tommy for that. But now it's time to find out what else has been going on in our Red Top Roundup. Ooh. A rugby player lost his left ear when he got caught in an opponent's pocket. A cheeky nurse at the hospital greeted the player with the words, "Is that an ear in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me?" This is a true story. The player's quick-fire response was, "Yes, it is an ear. Could you sew it back on, please? I'm dying." A 10-foot man-eating alligator is on the loose in Bromwich, and it's currently being hunted by members of the RSPCA armed with nets. I don't know if they misread it and thought it was a newt that was on the loose, but it's 10 foot long. What they should do is get really big guns and shoot it. Of course they won't. They won't do that. I hope it bites their fucking animal-loving legs off. And finally, Ukrainian serial killer, the Terminator, was found guilty of murdering 52 people. Now, you might think with a name like that, they'd have caught him ages ago, but in fact, in Ukrainian, Terminator means, "No, officer, I did not murder those people." Coming up in tonight's show, we play a pivotal role in solving the Northern Ireland peace process deadlock by sending our very own secret weapon, Ali G, to Belfast. I've met him. He's a very, very nasty person in real life. He's filing a 2-part special report on his personal peace mission. Here's a quick look at how his talks are going.
Where does, Boyzone stand? Where is they?
What do you mean, where do they stand?
Is they on the side of the Sinn Féin?
Well, you didn't ask Boyzone. I reckon
Aye,
that's
for real. Do they represent the Sinn Féin?
No, they don't. Boyzone is a pub group.
As the war grinds into its 8th day, Daisy's been studying the papers. What's the state of play?
Well, Ian, I don't know the correct military term, but it seems to me that the war is going tits up. The bombing raids simply aren't having the impact NATO were hoping for. This might be down to their choice of targets, like this Serbian oven factory in Kačak, which they bombed twice. On Sunday, they sent in 2 cruise missiles, and with reports that some of the larger fan-assisted models had survived the first wave, they sent in 4 more missiles on Tuesday. The net result? They've made the boxes a bit more dusty. But on closer inspection, I understand why NATO cocked up. They went to hit Slobodan, but if you look closely, you've got it on the screen now, they hit Sloboda. And that's the name of the oven factory. Still, it's pretty close. Though I hear that Milosevic knitwear in Milton Keynes isn't taking any chances. Fitting an anti-missile system this weekend.
So if it takes 6 Tomahawks to dirty up a cooker factory, God only knows how many cruise missiles it takes to blow up a tank. Perhaps this explains the reports today that NATO is running out of missiles.
NATO needs your missiles. That's why we're starting our Missiles for Peace campaign. The more missiles you send, the more peace we can drop on Serbia. So if you've got a spare missile knocking about in your attic, pop it in a jiffy bag and send it to us at the 11 o'clock show usual address. Now, if we all pull together, we should have destroyed every single Serbian electrical goods shop by Christmas.
Later on, we'll be finding out exactly what's happening in the Balkans from our man on the ground, Mackenzie Crook. But first, here's a pest more pesky than Arkin. Jilted wife Amanda Page pestered her ex-husband with 1,000 phone calls in 11 days. Luckily for her, he was on her friends and family scheme.
Well, I know from personal experience that rejection can be a terrible thing. I once poured petrol on my ex-boyfriend's rabbit. I didn't like it, though. I love animals. But is this kind of reaction justified? Ian went out on the streets earlier to find out, didn't you?
What's the most extreme thing you've ever done to an ex-partner?
An extreme thing. Probably set fire to him in the bed.
You set fire to someone in the bed?
Tried to, yes.
I don't know if you've had a girlfriend, but if you did have one and she finished with you, what would you do to get revenge?
Shag a best mate or something.
There are some things that you suggested that just tell me if you think these are okay to do or not okay to do. How about calling her a bitch?
Oh yes.
A slag?
Yes.
Would you have pizzas sent to her house all hours of the night?
Depends how much of an arsehole she was.
She's a big arsehole.
Yeah? Well then, yeah, probably.
Shagging all her mates?
Sounds all right, yeah. Expect all my exes, mates are lesbians.
Piss in her tea?
Shit in her bed.
Shit in her bed?
Yep.
Did you actually shit in the bed when she dumped?
No.
And French kissing her mother?
Oh no, mum's a dog.
All right, finally, this is a suggestion. Maybe you should get off with her mother.
I wouldn't mind actually. She's very tasty.
Is that how I got a saucy mum?
Very saucy. Yeah, very nice.
How about a little cuff on the back of the hand just to get a bit of respect?
I'd love to, but I'm sure it'll get me in terrible trouble.
When will this be screening?
This is we're going out tonight, hopefully. So get Annabelle's mum to watch it, and maybe you could be getting your oats away with an older woman. Good luck. This is our revenge board. We've got 2 columns: acceptable behaviour, not acceptable. And here's a list of possible things you could do to an ex-lover. Any of these catch your eye? Pissing in her tea, acceptable or unacceptable behaviour?
Totally unacceptable.
Shitting in a box and sending it through the post. Would you ever do that?
Never on my life.
Never again.
In the airport for 5.5 years.
Maybe you could drop one through a chimney. So there we have it. From what we've learnt today, you might want to think twice before dumping that ugly twat you're going out with. This has been Ian Lee, the 11 o'clock show, London.
As we enter the second week of the Balkan Bomb Fest, there's only 2 Western journalists left in Serbia. The first is the legendarily intrepid John Simpson, and the second, the legendarily insipid Mackenzie Crook. Now, I must remind you, Mackenzie is reporting under tight Serbian broadcasting restrictions, so I don't know exactly how much detail he can give us. Let's try and find out. Mackenzie, are you there? Can you hear me? Mackenzie, are you there?
Yes. Well, actually, I just asked my Serbian minder. Excuse me, am I here? Yes, I am.
Mackenzie, have you seen any evidence of the NATO offensive?
I've seen an unspecified amount of the thing you just mentioned, but I don't know if I can be any more specific than that. Am I allowed, Arkan? No, I'm not.
All right, I understand you're in a bit of a tricky situation. Now, can you tell us how the civilian population in Serbia is bearing up?
Would that I could, Ian, would that I could, but alas, I'm being very heavily censored. Can I say that? I'm sorry, I take that back. I'm not being censored. That's the one thing I can say for certain.
So you can't tell us anything about, I don't know, food supplies?
No.
Refugees?
No.
Your hotel?
No.
Mackenzie, what can you tell us?
Belgrade is certainly a city of contrasts, with a nightlife scene that surprises many visitors.
Mackenzie, is there anywhere that the casual visitor can catch, I don't know, live jazz funk?
Yes. You can catch live jazz funk at the Cafe Hugo every Tuesday night.
OK, Mackenzie, I'm going to have to stop you there. You're boring me. Thank you very much. It's good to see at least one man's defying the Serbs and getting some real facts out of Belgrade. One very brave man indeed. But now on a lighter note, Northern Ireland. With the peace talks postponed for 12 days, we decided to break the deadlock by sending over our very own secret weapon, Ali G. Ali, the nation's hopes are with you.
Wicked. I was here in Northern Ireland. I had a little accident beforehand. Joking. You must be sensitive about this situation because for too long brothers has been killing brothers here. So I has come to Belfast to make sure that by the end of the day there is full-on peace. Keep it real.
Ireland. Put it by now. Ireland.
Check this. I is with my main woman, Sue Ramsey. She be a member of the Assembly of Sinn Féin. Now, Sinn Féin, what's the vibe?
Sinn Féin is a 32-county party. Our main aim is the reunification of Ireland.
And what is the language that they speak here?
They speak Gaelic here.
Gaelic?
Gaelic, yeah.
What is that, like a Bati language or something? Like, what is the real name for it?
Irish.
What is the... It's called Irish?
Irish, yes.
So then when they're cussing it, they say it's like a gay man?
Gaelic means Irish in Irish.
Aye.
Gaelic
because
equals
in
Irish.
English, gay means a man who sleeps with another man. And the lick is like, you know. What is the story with drugs and that kind of thing here? Is there a problem with drugs here?
There probably is.
Is maybe the cause of the problem that they say that, and maybe it's a stereotype or whatever, but they say the Irish is always up for the crack or whatever. Is that a problem because the crack make you violent? Me know people from my estate, they go mental and whenever there's someone around they want to fight them, whatever.
No.
It's a bad drug.
No, crack in Ireland means having a good time. Having a laugh.
For real, they ain't fun. It's also bad stuff as well. There's a high, but after you finished it, there's a low.
Crack in Ireland doesn't mean drugs.
Ali in Ireland, Ali in Northern Ireland. Ali in Ireland, Ali in Northern Ireland. Boom!
Wicked. I was with none other than my main man, the Lord Mayor of Ireland, David O'Dorice, and we is having a cup of tea.
Hello, Alex. You're very welcome to Belfast.
I don't know what's going on here. Why is there all the fighting?
There are people in Northern Ireland who wish to be part of a united Ireland.
For real.
And then there are people living in Northern Ireland who wish to remain part of the United Kingdom.
And where does Wogan stand?
Terry Wogan.
Terry Wogan.
Terry Wogan.
What is he?
I have no idea what his political stance is.
But was he not in the IRA?
Terry Wogan? No, he wasn't.
There'll be even more Ali G later on. I'm sure you'll be sad to hear when we see the second part of his special report on solving the troubles. See you after the break. Welcome back to 11 O'Clock Show. Today sees the introduction of the national minimum wage, which means that by law, all 18-year-olds will now get at least £3 an hour. That's extra cash they can be spending on cider, hip-hop and one-armed gamblers. But for the 11 O'Clock Show's Daniel Demetriou, the minimum wage means nothing. He works for us under the government's New Deal scheme. Here's his genuine papers. And Dan earns a whole lot more than the minimum wage. In fact, we believe he's the highest paid New Deal boy in the country. So, let's bring him on. Dan, get out here!
Please, Demetriou!
Got to explain that joke. It's a funny little joke we do. His last name's Demetriou. It sounds a bit like to meet you. So, and you love it, don't you, Dan? Now, you are a genuine New Deal boy, aren't you, Dan? We've got to sort that out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, Dan, a normal day for you involves you coming in, going back out buying Jaffa cakes, coming back in and flirting with Daisy all day long. She doesn't like that. I've got to ask you to stop. But we have got actually some proper work for you to do today. I'm sorry about that. We're doing a sketch later on. Very, very funny about the Irish peace talks. Very good. And we're using animals to represent the key people involved. You understand? And the thing is, we need you to look after the animals. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right, we've got a room backstage. In the room, we've got, I think, a rooster, 3 chickens, 2 mallards, and a great big rabbit. Now, have you got any experience looking after animals?
None at all.
Perfect. You'll be great for the job. Off you go, and I'll give you a call when we're ready. Cheers, Dan. Thanks a lot. No. Don't bother. Don't bother. Has he gone? Has he gone? Right. Now, don't get your hopes up about the Irish peace process sketch. We're not doing that. Sorry. If you check your diaries, April Fool's Day. And what could be better than to leave a work-shy youth in the room with some animals? We'll be checking on Dan's progress later.
We'd just like to take a few moments to make an apology to TV host Anthea Turner, following an item in yesterday's show regarding her sacking/resignation, depending on which paper you read, from the ITV travel programme Wish You Were Here. Firstly, we freely admit that telephoning Ms Turner on holiday and breaking the news by shouting, "Gutted like a kipper, you Barbie," down the phone was both unnecessary and inconsiderate on our part. The 11 o'clock show also acknowledges that broadcasting the disturbing footage of Anthea's head on fire, which follows, was totally inappropriate, and if easily shocked, please do turn away.
And if you want something to happen to you on a...
This action was totally misjudged and may have caused offence, as was our decision to replay the footage in slow motion with the following commentary. We now understand this failed to present the health and safety message intended. Ms Turner, we are sorry. You are a very brave lady. We will never show the footage again. Thank you.
Do you remember E.T., the extraterrestrial who warmed the hearts of a generation all over the world, despite the fact he looked like Mother Teresa? Well, despite the fact he's a dead ringer for a wrinkly old nun, according to a top biologist, E.T. looks nothing like a real alien. And according to Dr. Jack Cohen, an eminent academic who writes about aliens, E.T.s are not the only sci-fi alien that don't look right. Neither do these, or this. So let's meet the man who's made these astonishing claims. Please welcome Dr. Jack Cohen. Hello, Jack. How are you? Pleased to meet you. Sit down. Sit down. Now, Jack, we've got to confirm you are a genuine alien expert, aren't you?
I am the most genuine you'll come across.
Well, I'm not wanting to come across you, but what exactly are your alien qualifications?
Well, I've helped a lot of science fiction authors design real ecologies, nail their fantasies to the ground.
So what do aliens look like?
Not like us, like anything. If we ran evolution again on this planet, we get something quite different. I don't know what they do look like, Ian. I know what they don't look
Jack,
like.
calm down. Calm down. Don't worry. This we're not being nasty. Now, what is the most accurate movie alien? Is it the Ewoks in Caravan of Courage?
I'm persuaded by the Starship Troopers ones.
Do aliens, you think, make films about humans and get it totally wrong?
That's what a super question. I've not been asked that before, and it's a lovely idea. I guess they do.
Right, now, a lot of aliens on Star Trek speak English simply by monitoring our radio waves. Do they do that?
I can't see how they could. I don't think it's English, is it, on Star Trek?
Yeah, it is. I understand it, and that's the only language I speak.
Oh, well, it must be. Yeah. Star Trek, a great show, but the aliens, like Mr. Spock, well, he's half alien, isn't he? Yeah, when somebody shows me that they can mate with an oak tree, which is our cousin, I'll believe that we can mate with Vulcans.
Your cousin is an oak tree? Do aliens have sex like us, or do they just rub the back of their knees and bum?
I think that aliens will have all kinds of sex.
Final question. Do people ever accuse you of making this stuff up?
Of course they do, and I do make it up. I'm a scientist.
Right, we'll have our money back then. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jack Cohen. Thank you very much. Cheers, Jack. Time now to check on New Deal boy Daniel, if she likes to be called. We call him Dan. He's looking after the animals he thinks we'll be using for a peace process sketch later on. A member of the 11 o'clock show team should just be about to go in there to give Dan some instructions. Let's go back and have a look.
Okay, Dan, we're almost ready for the animals now, but we want to make them look a bit more like their characters, yeah? Yeah. All right, so we want the chickens to be the orange men in this bit, yeah? Right. So we take those hats and those sashes, and we put them, pin that onto the chicken there, yeah? And we want the rabbit to be the terrorist. You see this? Yeah. Yeah. Take that, put that on the rabbit's head. There's some combat fatigues. Okay. Nice one. The ducks, whichever one of the ducks you reckon looks most like Momo, then yeah, we'll use that. Okay. Yeah, you alright with that? Yeah, I'm alright. Okay.
The power, I love it.
Hey! Didn't take you long to get back from Belgrade.
No, exactly. Exactly, which just goes to show how close we all are to this terrible, terrible conflict.
Now, earlier in the show, we sent our youth reporter, Ali G, to try and bring peace to Northern Ireland. He spoke to Sinn Féin councillor Sue Ramsey, and we also sent him to meet prominent Protestant Sammy Wilson from Ian Paisley's Democratic Unionist Party.
I is here now with my main man, Sammy Wilson, in B from the DUP, that mean the Democrat Party or something. What is the DUP?
The DUP is a Democratic Unionist Party.
So is you Irish?
No, I'm British.
So is you here on holiday?
No, Northern Ireland has always been part of Britain.
So who are the Republicans?
Well, the Republicans are those people who cannot accept and do not accept that Northern Ireland should be part of the United Kingdom.
So why is everyone cussing the RAC?
Well, I don't think it's the RUC, the Royal Ulster.
The RAC people is, everyone today is saying the RAC, they chuck stones at them and whatever. And it ain't their fault if they don't come, you know, in time or whatever.
No, everyone is doing that. I mean, I think that's the first thing. The vast majority of people in Northern Ireland actually use the police for their own protection.
But why is they using a breakdown service as police? That, to me, sounds like the most stupid thing. No wonder there is fighting here or whatever if they're doing that.
You see, I think you've got a mistake. It's the RUC.
Let's say with the US situation, there was original people shooting each other, kids shooting each other on the street. Then this geezer, Africa Bambaataa, came along, put down the lino. He said, put down your guns, don't shoot each other. Do instead the breakdance, do the body popping, do the electric boogaloo, do the windmill. And that is how these kids was battling. Do you not think they should do that here?
Well, I think that it's a bit more serious here. I can hardly imagine people, hardened terrorists, simply handing over their guns and doing the windmill or the break dancing or whatever.
Well, if they could do it in LA, no one is harder than them. Which is the biggest city in Ireland?
Which is the biggest city in Ireland?
Dublin, because it keeps on doubling and doubling in size. Well, have you got any jokes?
Well, there's a joke that's often told about Ian Paisley. And
that he is on crack.
He was swimming across the.
Is he on crack?
No, he's not. But he was faced with a river infested with crocodiles. And before he got in, he got this T-shirt with "I love the Pope" written on the back of it. And he swam across, and he got right away to the other side. And they asked, "How did you get so far without the crocodiles getting in?" And he says, "The crocodiles would never swallow that." I love the Pope. The crocodiles would never swallow that.
Is the Pope a Catholic?
We're running out of time, but before we go, there is just time to bring on New Deal boy Daniel and the animals he's been looking after for the Irish peace process sketch. Dan, we're ready for you, mate.
Pleased to meet you.
Love it, absolutely love it. Dan, oh, look at that lovely rabbit dressed up there, very nice. Now, you've been stuck in a room looking after all this lot throughout the show. Well, we're not really using them for anything, mate. there is no Irish Peace Process sketch. We've been having April Fool's fun! Do you think that was a good joke, Dan?
Yeah, it was all right.
Dan, you're a vastly overpaid and you do a boy, but you're a good sport. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Demetriou. Let's hear it. Got a lot of fun. Well, that's it for tonight. Join us next week. Good night.
The 11 o'clock show will be back next Tuesday night at 11:10.